If you're a small business owner that's struggling to get more clients, then in the next 15 minutes, I'll show you everything you need to know to skyrocket your number of clients. If you understand and implement all 10 concepts in this video into your business, you'll easily get hundreds or even thousands of new clients depending on your industry. So let's get right into it. First things first, you need to pick a niche. Now, this is not strictly necessary, but it can really help for a few reasons. The main one is that you appear as an expert in your field. This makes it easier to sell and you can sell at a higher price. For example, if you sell management consulting services to everyone, well, that might only sell for like $30 an hour. But if you sell management consulting services for dental practices, then you could easily charge like $300 an hour. That's because expertise has a higher perceived value. Your customers would be willing to pay more because they think, well, he only does my industry, so he must be really, really good at it. Which is another point. You would get really, really good at it. So you'd bring them amazing results and you'd be known for how good you are, and that would bring you even more clients. Now, the reason it helps you sell it more easily is because you stand out from your competitors. Remember that when advertising, you're not the only company your potential clients are seeing. You're competing with thousands of other businesses as well. So when your potential client sees your ad versus a competitor's ad, well, they're way more likely to select the one that's specific to their industry rather than the generic one, because it would speak to their specific problems. The next thing you need to know about is one-step versus two-step lead generation. Just so we're on the same page, let me explain what a lead even is. A lead is simply a person you can contact. Now, that's not super useful. We don't just want someone we can contact. We want someone who's interested in buying our stuff. So what we really want is engaged leads, which are people who show interest in the stuff we sell. So with this in mind, there are two main types of lead generation. There's one-step lead generation and there's two-step lead generation. Let's go over the difference. One-step lead generation is when you try to sell a product to someone directly. An example of this would be an ad for a coffee machine, which when you click on it would take you to the checkout page where you can buy the coffee machine. Two-step lead generation is when you capture a lead first and nurture them before attempting to make a sale. An example of this is asking your customers to fill out a contact form instead of selling them something directly. Now, as I said earlier, what we really want most is to have as many engaged leads as possible. Two-step lead generation has a little hack which is awesome for getting engaged leads specifically, and that hack is called a lead magnet. Lead magnets are an awesome way of getting engaged leads. A lead magnet is essentially something free you give away that's so good that people are willing to pay for more. Think of it like being a drug dealer. A free drug sample is a lead magnet. You give away the first hit for free because once people try it, they're hooked. The key steps to creating a lead magnet are figure out the problem you want to solve and who to solve it for. Figure out how to solve it. Figure out how to deliver it. Test what to name it. Make it easy to consume. Make it so good people feel stupid saying no, and make it easy for them to tell you they want more. For example, say you're running a moving company. You could offer a free guide or video tutorial on how to package your stuff to prepare for your move. People who are planning to move would see it and download it. And in the free guide, you'd give them exactly what they came for, but you would also point out the difficulty and frustration of doing it yourself. And then you could offer to do it for them. This can be really useful because the free guide positions you as an expert, which would build trust with your customers. Another reason it's great in this situation is because, as you know, moving is typically a pretty long process. So if you just offered moving services directly, there's a pretty good chance that a lot of people are not moving yet and might not want to concern themselves with booking till later. The lead magnet would help you build a list of people you know are going to be moving sometime soon. And you could easily just send this person emails every few days or once a week just to remind them that you're there. You could give them more information on how to prepare for their move, which would build rapport. You could give testimonials from your previous clients and you can send them offers, and now you will have built up trust with your potential customers as well. So when they're finally looking to book with a moving company, you're right there and you're the obvious best choice in their eyes. If you'd like some more information about lead magnets, I highly recommend you read the book $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. Amazing book. Will get you loads of clients. Now, I'm not saying one-step lead generation is worthless. It wouldn't really make much sense to put in a two-step process for buying an orange. I haven't really thought about it much. Maybe there is a way, but typically if you're selling something really cheap, you should probably do one step. But in general, for most business types, two-step is king. Before we move on, let me clear a common misconception about lead magnets. I hear this all the time. If I'm giving stuff away for free, why would anyone buy from me? Well, the first reason is that what you're offering is probably a lot of work. Quite a lot of people would read or watch your free guide and think, I don't really want to do that. Looks like a lot of work, and they'd rather pay you to do it. There's also the likelihood that they try to implement what you show them, but can't get it done. Might be too hard, might take too long, and again, you're right there, and you've already proved to them that you know what you're doing. So if they want the problem solved, but don't want to do it themselves, what's the most logical solution? get you to do it for them. Next, let's talk about motives. You need to understand that most people are not looking for what you do. They are looking for a result, a solution to a problem. For example, people are not normally looking for a chiropractor. They're looking to fix their back pain. One of the biggest mistakes most business owners make is being way too obsessed about themselves and their products. For example, take the statement, "We provide expert marketing services." Well, the issue with this is that no one really wants expert marketing services. Most people don't ask for marketing services. They ask, how do I get more clients, or how do I grow my business? So in this instance, a better headline would be, "We help businesses get more sales and clients." This is a really important fundamental to understand. We humans are very selfish by nature, so you really have to go against your nature to truly understand this. Your products are important because of the problems they solve, not because of what they are intrinsically. Now, this is super important. Avoid the brand awareness trap. Something you will hear a lot is people telling you to focus on brand building. The reality is that brand building is a complete waste of money for small businesses. Why? Because it can't be measured, and it doesn't directly contribute to sales. Without any sales, your business fails. It even rhymes, so you know it's true. Anyway, the reason you see people so worried about brand awareness is because that's what all the big brands do, and that's what they teach you in university. I know this because I went to university. You learn about these massive campaigns ran by enormous corporations like McDonald's and Coca-Cola. The thing is, Coca-Cola has a $600 million ad budget. If you have this much money for an ad campaign, then congratulations. You can just send it and it'll work out for you. Wave to me as you fly over Dublin in your private jet. But for most of us, this isn't the case. A lot of us only have something like $300 to $1,500 to spend a month on a campaign. So we need results. Also, you know what they don't tell you? These companies also started with no money. You know how they all got sales when they started? By hammering home an amazing offer. Which brings me to my next point. How to craft an absolutely irresistible offer. The first thing you need is a USP, a unique selling proposition. Now, a lot of people get mixed up here and completely leave out the unique part of a USP. How many times have you heard some variation of this? We're the best at what we do, or we've been in business for 30 years, or we care about all our customers. It's a cliche at this point. The thing is, these are the complete opposite of unique. Literally almost every company says something along those lines. It doesn't make you stand out at all. Something I always ask the clients I work with is, what makes you different from your competitors? And typically, those examples I gave are exactly what they regurgitate. When I prod them and say, well, your competitors say the same thing, so how does that differentiate you at all? It always gets them a little flustered. In almost every case, they don't have a USP at all. They thought they did, but I completely crushed their little world. To explain what a USP is, let's take a look at a famous example. Domino's Pizza. Domino's had an awesome USP, which was fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it's free. Now that's unique. No other competitor had this at the time, and it worked wonders. You should really sit down and spend some time coming up with a unique selling proposition. Sometimes it can even be something extremely simple, like you get a free mystery gift with every purchase. You just need something that makes you stand out. The second thing an amazing offer has is a guarantee. Some way to share risk between you and your customer. This is a great way of incentivizing sales. A simple example of this is a money-back guarantee. If you're not happy with your purchase within X number of days, you get your money back. Low-risk offers are great because it makes customers trust you significantly more and makes it way easier to take up an offer. There's another great example of this in the book Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins, which I highly recommend you read, and it's about an electric sewing machine motor. The maker of it had trouble advertising it, and what he did to solve it was to send it to any home through any dealer for 1 week's use. And with it came a man to show how to operate it. He essentially just let people use the motor for a week with no cost or obligation. And what do you know? The ad did great. About 9 in 10 of the trials led to sales. The next thing your offer needs is to have a low purchase threshold. A purchase threshold is the barrier between asking for an action and the audience taking it. Imagine I ran an ad, and it said, get $1 million transferred directly to your bank account, and all you have to do is send me your kidney. Now, that's a massive ask. Can't imagine there'd be many people that would take me up on that offer. That would be a high purchase threshold. Here's an example of a low purchase threshold. Watch this 3-minute video to solve your problem. Way more likely someone will take you up on this. You need to make sure your offer is low threshold. It should be super easy for a person to take you up on your offer. Lastly, you need urgency. You've probably seen this around a bunch. Something along the lines of, X is on sale, 24 hours left, or only 10 spots remaining for X. Adding urgency can be the difference between someone buying from you and not. Sometimes people can be interested in a product and forget, or not be completely convinced they need it right now. Adding urgency can solve both of these problems. It pushes a potential customer to act quickly, and it can make it appear that a product is in high demand. Something you need to remember is that people are constantly being bombarded with marketing messages. Your marketing needs to stand out and cut through the noise. Many businesses use the same generic messages that have been used for decades. This is why a good headline can really help separate you from your competitors. competitors. The headline is arguably the most important part of an ad. If a potential customer doesn't even get through the headline, then who cares what's in the rest of the ad? You could have the coordinates to the lost city of Atlantis in your ad, but if your headline is shit, it might as well not exist. The easiest way to create a good headline is to know your audience's problems and speak to them directly. For example, a chiropractor should ask, "Does your back hurt?" to connect with potential clients. Something else to keep in mind is to avoid saying the same things as your competitors. Make your message interesting and relevant to your audience. Show them that you understand and can solve their pain. Underneath the headline, you should then further prod the issue. Basic ad structure as a whole should utilize what's known as the PASS formula. Now, don't freak out, it's not technical. All it stands for is problem, agitate, solve. You catch attention by showing a problem the client might have, you then agitate the problem, which is basically just you rubbing your thumb into the wound, and then you provide your solution. So, for example, a chiropractor might say something like this: "Does your back hurt? It's messing with your sleep, your focus at work, and even just playing with your kids. Book a 10-minute assessment today and walk out with a personalized plan that will fix your back pain for good." Keep in mind, this is a super bare bones example, but even just that is still extremely effective. There's all sorts of other factors like painting a story and discouraging other options, but if I go through everything, I'll be here all day. And it's too much to go through in one sitting anyway, so I'll talk about those next time. The final part of your ad is a call to action. All ads should have a call to action that can be measured. A call to action is something that prompts the viewer into taking action. This can be something like visiting your website, making a purchase, or downloading a guide, etc. But the key point here is it must be measurable. If it can't be measured, you will have no way of knowing how well your ad is doing. If you're using Facebook to run ads, you can do this by installing what's known as a pixel. I can't stress this enough. Measuring is extremely important, so make sure you do it. Now, with all your newfound knowledge, it's time to create your first solid ad. A good ad should at the very least have the following elements: a headline which speaks directly to a specific person with a specific problem, a subhead which then further prods the problem to elicit an emotional reaction from the viewer, a solution to the problem and how it can fix your viewer's problem, a unique selling point for why your solution specifically is better, a guarantee to share risk with the viewer, a low purchasing threshold, something that provokes the viewer to act quickly, and a call to action telling them what to do next. The goal of your ad should be to either drive sales or give something away for free so you can capture and nurture your leads and sell them later. And that's it. You're on your way to having a winning ad. All you have to do now is act. If you need additional help with creating your ad, feel free to reach out and I'll help you out personally. Just fill out the contact form on my website, which you can find in the description below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If this video was helpful, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this that will help you grow your business and get more clients. Thanks for watching.